Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Travis Quast, and I am the Regional President and Publisher for the Idaho State Journal, and welcome to our Sports Stars for 2020. This is a little unique opportunity for us, obviously, with COVID-19 and our ability to not hold an event in live like we normally do. We're excited to still bring you this Sports Stars event via Facebook Live to honor the student athletes who have worked so hard this year. I'm here tonight with Madison Guernsey, our sports editor for the Idaho State Journal, who'll be presenting the awards here in just a couple of minutes. To get started tonight, we wanted to take the opportunity and thank our sponsor, Idaho Central Credit Union. Without their support, this Sports Stars program would not be possible, and so many things that they support throughout our community. We are proud to have them as a sponsor for our Sports Stars. So a big thank you goes out to Idaho Central Credit Union. Each year during our Sports Stars events, we take the opportunity to hear from a keynote speaker, and we didn't want to miss that opportunity again this year. So Pauline Thiros, many of you know her as the athletic director for Idaho State University, was scheduled to be our keynote speaker this year. And we didn't want to miss the opportunity to let her deliver a message to the students. So she was kind enough to record just a couple of minutes of a message to share with all of you. So let's begin tonight by turning some time over to Pauline to share a message for all of our student athletes.
Welcome to the Idaho State Journal Sports Star Awards. Like all of you, I was excited to come together in person for this event and celebrate the great student athletes, teams, and performances of 2019 and 2020. But in the absence of that opportunity, I've still been excited all week to pay tribute to you, our truly outstanding school sports community in Southeast Idaho. You see, I know better than most how special you are. I've known and coached so many students from our communities who moved on to compete with the best in America, the best in the world even, and win. Everyone who knows me knows I have a saying I use all the time, and I know it's something all of you being honored tonight have in common. You were never interested in being good. You've been working your tail off to be smoking hot. I'm always very proud of the tradition of smoking hotness that we enjoy in Southeast Idaho high school sports. Thank you for the way you have continued that tradition. Not very long ago, everything was very different. In fact, we were still celebrating Century's swim team, where Coach of the Year Karen Homestad helped fuel Caitlin Shelley and Coleman Sandy to not one, but 2 state championships each. We saw Sadie Groning of Soda Springs throw down 31 points to lead her team to a title, and we loved watching Preston High School's dream team and Tide High win a very special state championship. Congratulations to all of you being honored tonight for your awe-inspiring performances this year. You have made everyone in Idaho proud. Things changed for us quickly this year, and COVID-19 mounted an attack on all of us. Sports at all levels came to a halt, and each of us became part of the biggest collective effort in our lifetimes to do something for the public good. We had to set down something so important to us, something we worked so hard for, to pick up the larger charge of shared responsibility and do something for the well-being of everyone. If you're like me, you're still shaking your head in disbelief and grieving a little bit for the opportunities we lost to compete this spring. But there's a lesson in all of this. It's a lesson that I think you as student athletes already know. The way I see it, we were called upon to do what we as student athletes do best. We have made short-term sacrifices so that we can win in the long run. We've done what is best for the team. We've faced adversity unselfishly and used it to make ourselves better. We've had to plan, adjust, and execute against a tough opponent. And we're doing what it takes for as long as it takes to reach our goal. This reminds me of something I used to say often to my team. When we play a high school sport, a youth sport, a college sport, we are constantly loading up a great big infinite box. We put in so much work. If we're great, we put in hours and hours. We soak up every bit of instruction. We prepare our minds and bodies. We pour our hearts into it. And if you're doing it right, and you all watching are doing it right because we're calling your names tonight, you take all of those hours and all of that preparation, all of that sweat and practice and knowledge, and you put it in that box. Then when the time comes to perform in the game, there's only one thing left to do. You stand up on it like you're 10 feet tall and you swing for the fences. It's that simple. All those hours, that experience, your teammates, everything you've learned, I can tell you as I stand here decades past calling myself athlete, they never go away. These things you have all put in the box, they're always going to be there for you to stand up on as competitors in sport and in your lives where you will compete every single day. So congratulations to all of you on having done the work to accumulate what I can see is a pretty tremendous stash to stand up on for life. Finally, I'm thinking back to how as a coach, I never used to print names on the back of my team's jerseys. I wanted to remind each player and myself that the jerseys we had the honor to wear involved so much more than just one name. On your back, invisibly perhaps, are the names of your teammates, your coaches, the administrators who make what you do possible, your parents, and the community partners who support high school sports. And here in Idaho, there are so many. Please join me in thanking them for making the unequaled experience of competing in high school sports possible. I'm so proud of you as Idaho State Journal sports stars. I read every story of every one of tonight's honorees in absolute awe of what you have accomplished already. Keep standing up on it, and I look forward to seeing all of the greatness that will come out of this amazing collection of competitors.
Wow, I think that was inspiring, and I think we know why Pauline is one of the biggest cheerleaders and supporters of student athletes in our region. We were so appreciative of her taking a few minutes to share some thoughts with us. So before we get to the awards, just a couple of things that we wanted to share with you. The actual awards are being distributed via the high schools. They will be available at each high school later this week. So the students that are being honored tonight, we would ask that you get in contact with your high schools. They do have the awards starting a little later this week, so you can stop by and get those picked up. Again, we wish we could present these in person, but just not possible this year. Before I turn the time over to Madison, I do want to just take a moment. I think, every year we try to take an opportunity to thank the many parents and coaches who stand behind these student athletes, who get them up for practices every day, who pick them up late and encourage them all along the way. I think every student athlete out there would acknowledge that they would not be able to do what they do today without the support of their parents, as well as the phenomenal coaches they have out there. So as I bring Madison Guernsey in here before we get off the awards, it was unfortunate this year, Madison, that we weren't able to honor spring sports. Do you want to talk a little bit about our decision there?
Yeah, as you said, Travis, unfortunately, the high school spring sports season got cut very short. Many of our teams had one, if any, events before everything got shut down. And given that some of our teams didn't get to go on the court or the field or the course at all, we didn't think that we could fairly hand out awards in those sports. But we so wanted to honor the rest of the athletes who got to complete their seasons in the winter and fall, and we're happy to be with them virtually here tonight.
And something we'll be looking forward to next year to bring those athletes back and be able to honor them in the spring season. So, Madison, let's turn the time over to you, and we'll honor the 2020 Sports Stars for the Idaho State Journal.
Yeah, thanks, Travis. Well, hey, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I know you can't see me, but thank you all for joining us from the comfort of your own home. Hopefully you're gathered with some family and friends celebrating this moment with us. Believe it or not, we're at the end of another school year. Normally, this time of the year is marked by freshly crowned state champions, banner signing celebrations, and basking in eternal state tournament glory. Instead, high school sports officially ended in mid-April, but have been paused for much longer than that. For me, and I'm sure all of you, that's left a significant void. We hope that this virtual event can spark memories of this past season and bring sports back to your screens, even if it's just for a while. I'm sorry we can't gather, shake hands, share smiles, and have a few laughs in person, but if any of you have been acting like I have the last few months when barbershops and gyms have been closed and the fridge is just a short walk away, maybe it's for the best that we aren't squeezing into our finest attire. Before we get started, I'd like to thank all of you for another special sports season. Every moment was unique, and I'm lucky to have gotten to retell all of your stories. A special thank you to the seniors who missed out on their final seasons and other senior year moments. We haven't forgotten about you, and we wish every day that we were out there with you. With that being said, we're excited to start honoring this year's best athletes, coaches, and moments, starting with fall sports. Our first award of the night is our Volleyball Player of the Year. This setter was a 6-rotation player for Century, leading the team in assists while ranking second in blocks and hitting percentage. She led the Diamondbacks to a district championship and a runner-up finish at the 4A state tournament. Our Volleyball Player of the Year, Lexi Bull. And up next, we have our Football Player of the Year. Few players could dominate a game like this Highland running back, who averaged 7.8 yards per carry. He broke Highland's single-game rushing record with 298 yards against Century, and later led the Rams into the 5A state semifinals. Our Football Player of the Year from Highland, Caleb DeMuzio. Our Girls Cross Country Runner of the Year is just a sophomore, and already she's established herself as one of the best in Idaho. She won 6 meets in 2019, including the 2A District 5 Championship, where she set a personal record with a time of 18:21. She then finished second at the state meet, where she led Bear Lake to a runner-up team finish. For the second year in a row, our Girls Cross Country of the Year, Bear Lake's Ellie Kelsey. Our Boys Cross Country Runner of the Year battled injury early in the season, but came on strong late. He won the 4A District 4-5 championship, setting a school record in the process, and finished 4th at state, where he led Preston to a second-place trophy. Our Boys Cross Country Runner of the Year, Riley Reed. Our Girls Soccer Player of the Year led her team to new heights in 2019. She was an offensive force, racking up 27 goals and 7 assists to first lead Pocatello past rivals Highland and Preston, and then into the state tournament for the first time since 2007. Our Girls Soccer Player of the Year, Addison Spillett. Our Boys Soccer Player of the Year was the leader of a prolific American Falls team that advanced to the 3A state semifinals. He scored 19 goals and added 12 assists for the Beavers, who finished 3rd at state, which is their best finish at state since 2010. Our Boys Soccer Player of the Year, Brian Martinez. Our Girls Swimmer of the Year retired from the sport after the 2019 state meet, so she made sure she went out on a high note. The Century Senior won state titles in the 100-yard butterfly and 50-yard freestyle, breaking her own state meet record in the 50-yard free. For the second year in a row, our Girls Swimmer of the Year, Caitlin Shelley. Our Boys Swimmer of the Year also made the state meet his swan song. He won a pair of state titles in the 50 and 100-yard freestyles, breaking his own state meet record in the 100-yard free. He also led the Century Boys team to a runner-up finish. Our Boys Swimmer of the Year, Coleman Sandy. Our girls basketball player of the year spread her talents all over the court. The senior guard averaged 19 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists to lead Soda Springs to its 3rd straight 2A state title. She was at her best in the title game when she scored a season-high 31 points. Our girls basketball player of the year, Sadie Groning. Our boys basketball player of the year was a dominant force on both ends of the floor. The 6'7" senior center averaged 18.1 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.6 blocks per game, leading Preston back to the state title stage, where the Indians won their 4th title in the last 5 years. Our boys basketball player of the year, Ty Hyde. Our wrestler of the year ended his prep career on a high note. He defended his 3A 220-pound state title to cap a season in which he went 60-3, bringing his career record to 200 wins and 29 losses. The 200 wins are a new American Falls High School record. Our wrestler of the year, Wyatt Kern. Our girls' freshman of the year peaked at the end of her season. The Pocatello cross-country runner improved her time from 24:13 at the first meet of the year to 18:50 at the 4A state meet, where she placed 6th. Our girls' freshman of the year from Pocatello, Bailey Bird. Our boys' freshman of the year was nearly unbeatable. The Grace wrestler went 48-1 on the mat, highlighted by a 2A District 5 championship and a 98-pound state title. He also finished first at 5 other tournaments. Our boys' freshman of the year from Grace, Hans Newby. Up next, we have our Career Athletic Achievement Honors. With these, we aim to honor student athletes who have excelled at their craft throughout their 4 years of high school. And our girls honoree starred for Rockland on the hardwood during the volleyball and basketball seasons, and also won 3 state titles in track. This winter, she helped the Bulldogs girls basketball team win the 1A D2 state title for the first team state championship in Rockland history. Our girls' Career Athletic Achievement winner, Charlotte Wilson. Our boys honoree was one of the top recruited football players in the area after he earned first team All-State honors at safety and punter 2 years in a row. He's a multi-sport athlete and was also honorable mention All-Conference in basketball as a senior. Our boys Career Athletic Achievement Award winner, Highlands Jaden Bell. Our female coach of the year has had a measurable impact on the local swimming scene as the head coach of the boys and girls swim teams at all 3 Gate City high schools, Century, Highland, and Pocatello. She led the boys teams at Highland and Century to district titles this season before the Century boys finished second at state. Our female coach of the year, Karen Homstad. Our male coach of the year has consistently produced winners at Westside, but the 2019 season might be his best work. The Pirates football team graduated 7 All-State players from 2018's third place team, but embraced its underdog role all the way to the 2A state title. Our male coach of the year, Tyson Moser. Our game of the year ended not only one season's worth of heartbreak, but many seasons full of close calls. Trailing 16-0 in a winner-go-home regular season finale, Pocatello scored the next 23 points and stopped a last-minute 2-point try to preserve a 23-22 win and advance to the state playoffs for the first time since 2011. Our game of the year, Pocatello versus Burley football. Our girls' team of the year made a special kind of history this winter. Led by a senior-heavy backcourt, a rising star in the post, and a swarming defense, this small school team rolled through the 1A D2 state tournament en route to the state title, the school's first team state championship in any sport. Our girls' team of the year, Rockland basketball. Our boys' team of the year had 1 goal all season. Take it back. They did it in dominant fashion, beating opponents by 20.1 points per game en route to the 4A state title game. There, they won their 4th state championship in the last 5 years, becoming just the 5th team in Idaho history to accomplish that feat. Our boys' team of the year, Preston basketball. Up next, we have our School of Athletic Achievement, and although this year's School of Athletic Excellence didn't win any state titles, it boasted enviable consistency. Its girls basketball and wrestling teams were the state runners-up, football and boys cross country took 3rd at state, and it won numerous district championships. Our 2019-20 School of Athletic Excellence, Snake River High School. Up next, we have our Career Coaching Excellence Award. Each year, we like to honor a coach who has stepped away from the sidelines. This year, it's a coach who recently retired after leading the Blackfoot football program for nearly 3 decades, in which time he won 4 state titles and was a state runner-up 4 other times. He cultivated the careers of dozens of future college players, including Josh Hill of the New Orleans Saints. our 2020 Career Coaching Excellence honoree from Blackfoot, Stan Buck. And Stan has submitted a few words that he'd like to share, so I'll turn it back over to Travis to read his acceptance speech.
Thanks, Madison. And again, unfortunately, we couldn't have them to do this in person, but Stan shared these thoughts with us tonight. He says, to those that are interested in going into coaching, understand you must definitely have a passion for it, and there's going to be some rough times, but there are also tremendous rewards. So it's like anything else, you have to really enjoy it and just stick with it, and good things will come. I think great advice.
And we thank Stan for working with us over the years, obviously, and a tip of the cap to him for all his success, and good luck to him in his future endeavors. That brings us to our final two awards of the night, our top female athlete and our top male athlete. Up first is our top female athlete. And this year's winner was a force in two sports for Century. After volleyball season, she averaged 18.8 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 3.9 blocks on the basketball court, where she led Century to a state runner-up finish. Up next, she's off to continue her basketball career at the University of Wyoming. Our top female athlete of 2019-20 from Century High School, Lexi Bull. And Lexi has also shared a few words that I'll hand it back over to Travis, and he'll give you those now.
So here's what Lexi had to say. She said, first off, I'd like to start by thanking the Idaho State Journal for their extensive coverage of Idaho high school athletics. I would also like to thank my volleyball coaches, Brianne Robinson, Ashlyn Van Avery, and Pauline Thiros, my high school basketball coaches, Chris Schuler, Curtis Holt, and Rich Bull, my club basketball coaches, Dave Hammer, Stu Sells, Jeff Stedman, and Brian King. I would also like to thank my many teammates who have been with me for the last 4 years, and finally the school administration who set the standards of athletic and academic excellence. Thanks so much to all those who have helped me shape into the player and person I am today.
And congrats again to Lexi Bull, who, as I mentioned, was a very good all-around athlete in multiple sports for Century and got the Diamondbacks to multiple state title games. And that leaves us, that leaves us with our final award of the night, the top male athlete, and he was also a multi-sport star. Before leading Preston's basketball team to state tournament glory, he quarterbacked the Indians football team into the 4A state playoffs. He was also a tough matchup on the defensive line at 6'7", 240 pounds, and his football pedigree earned him a scholarship to Dixie State University. Our top male athlete of 2019-20 from Preston High School, Ty Hyde. And Travis will go ahead with Ty's acceptance speech.
First off, I would like to thank all my family, friends, and coaches and teammates for getting me to this point. I couldn't have done it without any of them. Preston has the best fans in the state without question, so I would like to say thanks to the community of Preston for always supporting the Indians. Thank you to the best coaching staff for developing me as an athlete. I wouldn't be near the athlete I am if it wasn't for them and my teammates. They are all outstanding ball players, and they truly earned this award for me. Thank you to everyone that has coached me and got me to this point.
And congrats to Ty for all his success at Preston. And once again, to all of our winners, we're again sorry we couldn't have this in person, but hopefully we were able to bring sports back to your life here for the last half hour or so. And we'll hopefully see you this summer and in the fall.
Well, Madison, thank you. And again, I think, we're just like everybody else, we're looking forward to the return of sports coming up. So as we wrap up tonight, again, we want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsor, Idaho Central Credit Union. Without them, this presentation and awards wouldn't be possible. Again, we would remind all our student winners tonight to stop by their high school starting Wednesday or after to pick up their awards. They'll be dropped off at the high schools, and you'll be able to pick them up there as you wrap up this school year. We hope you enjoy your summer, and as Madison said, we'll be looking forward to covering you again this fall. Have a good night, everyone.